Yeah, senior day is always an emotional day, right? And Coop's been a tremendous leader for us. You know, he's been the hardest working guy that wore a Moravian uniform this season, and we had a lot of hard working guys. So what he meant to our program and leadership that he demonstrated, it was emotional for all the guys and myself included. I mean, he's a big part of what we did this year and the success that we had. You know, you could just tell. You know, he knew his clock was winding down these last bunch of games, and that guy left everything on the court. You know, he knows exactly what it means to be a Greyhound, you know, and we were lucky to have him. So the emotions were high. We talked about it in the locker room before the game, you know, not to be too high or too low. In fact, I had 4 keys on the board, and I let each one of my captains kind of do what I normally do and say what each one of those 4 things meant to them. And I gave him that part, and he talked about not being too high, too low, and he was right on. He was dialed in. He was focused on the defensive end. He just gave his usual toughness, and his offensive abilities, you know, really carried us to almost closing that gap at one point in the second half before, you know, things got away from us. Yeah, it's been our 3-headed monster all season. You know, they've played a lot of minutes because I've needed them to, and we've needed them to. You know, they've been just a fantastic group to coach. I couldn't ask for a nicer group of guys. The way they treat each other, the way they act on and off the court, you know, it's been special to be around them. But I'm honest with them. I don't sugarcoat it. And I told them after the game, you know, that I love them and how much that they mean to me, but we have a whole lot of work to do to be able to close the gap. You know, I mean, in the standings, we were the 6th place team, and we just lost to the 5th place team by 20 points, and that's not good enough. And they own that. You know, I mean, when I tell them things like that, they realize it's not an attack on their character, but rather a realization that, look, we have to be better. So our offseason is going to be very important for us to close the gap. Yes, we are youthful. Yes, we play a lot of young guys. There's 2 other teams in the league that are almost as youthful as us. We're by far the youngest, especially considering our senior only played 1 year of college basketball because he was injured as a junior. But, you know, we've got to get better. You know, we've got to get stronger. We've got to get physically really tough. We can't get out-rebounded like we got out-rebounded in a couple close games. And, you know, we've got to just be better. So I do believe these guys are bought in. I really think they respond to what myself and my amazing assistant coaches have done all year. And they're going to give what they can in this offseason to close that gap and to make ourselves as competitive as possible next year. It's meant everything. You know, I felt beyond fortunate to get the call to fill in and to be the head coach this season. Like I said before, you know, I don't say that word, I love you, to a lot of people. But this team, you know, heard that from me on numerous occasions. Being able to lead, you know, the team at my alma mater emotionally means everything to me. You know, knowing what it means to be a Greyhound and coming back. The support from our alumni. I mean, I had people reaching out that played 40 years ago via email. We had our fans live streaming the game when they couldn't be in the gym, supporting our guys. You know, they know we got a young group. They can see the fire. Our energy, our togetherness has been there all season. So, you know, being able to lead these young men into battle every night and to play the game that we all love has been a blessing. And I feel very fortunate, you know, to be able to have done it and you know, give back to the university that means so much to me.